Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome back to more Terra Invicta. We are playing as the Resistance, and we've already taken over half of the United States of America. My goal, of course, being to stabilize this country and start really turning on the incredible economic powerhouse that it is, and using this gigantic superpower to sustain most of my economic and militaristic ventures going forward. In fact, with such a huge army, it would be kind of a shame not to go on some conquest sprees, but we'll see how we feel about that a little bit later. Oh, I forgot to mess with the budget over here. Let's continue boosting up some of the welfare. Actually, it is going down at a very slow rate right now. Okay. I do want to get some knowledge. The more knowledge we have, the more science we get, and also the more we can start changing up our democracy rating. It's a flawed democracy right now. The higher this is, generally the happier I am going to be. No corruption, please. We don't need any more investment in military tech for at least a while. Getting a little bit of investment toward boost is not the worst thing I've ever seen. We could build out our space program a little bit more. Don't care about the mission control. Let's just focus on this. So I am going to continue to try and boost up the United States and take over the rest of these points. We've already had to abandon our government in Mexico, so we're very vulnerable to having this taken away, but at least for now, we're still enjoying some of the extra income that comes out of that. And I'm starting to build up some support slowly in Kazakhstan, which is mostly controlled by the academy right now, but that will eventually change. The reason I want Kazakhstan is because they control the Balkaneer Cosmodrome, which is going to be worth a whole freaking lot of boost. So even though this is not connected to the US in any way, it will give me access to a lot of extra rockets. There are some other things we could start trying to think about. For example, we could try to conquer Canada and Mexico and make the US bigger and stronger. We could try to make some plays in places in Europe. France and Germany in particular often end up being really good, but that appears to be getting locked down by the Academy for the most part, so I'm not sure that's going to be a good option for us. We could try to take over a nation like India. They've got some really good potential and a lot of economic setup. Or, I don't know, we could even try to take over someone like Russia and use the fact that they have a faction, a federation to start with, and start conquering lots of territory, including Kazakhstan, and consolidate all of this into one big super state. I'm probably not going to go down that route, though. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do, but for now, it all starts with just getting the US completely under control. So let's unpause the game and just continue moving on to the next phase, which appears to be now. Thank you, Marine Division. The US armies are really, really quite good. You can see from their tech level that this is some of the most advanced military in the game. I don't think anyone else has higher than 4.5 right now. Another thing that's really important is it is attached to a navy, which basically means I can take this army and move it anywhere on the globe that I want. If it doesn't have a navy, it is landlocked for its deployment. So the US has reach everywhere. And if we actually click on the US, we can see its Freedom of the Seas rating. Now, I don't know what exactly builds this up. I think it is military spending. Most nations have nowhere close to this level. It is basically represents that we have absolute naval dominance anywhere in the world. If you fight against another nation that has a higher Freedom of the Sea rating than you, I think they're able to intercept you and stop you from going anywhere. So basically, we have global reach as the US, which means if we want to be militaristic, we absolutely could, and it would be fun. But we don't want to fight any nuclear powers. Nuclear barrages can do an unbelievable amount of damage. We want to save these nukes with the goal of using them against aliens if they ever get a little bit too strong. But mostly, I'm terrified of the idea of other nations having nukes. If, let's say, the Servants, with the UK under their control, they have a couple barrages. We don't want to attack the UK. That would be very dangerous. They could do something really stupid. I absolutely do not want to see anyone take over Russia. If they control the largest nuclear arsenal in the game, I might be a little bit threatened if we were to get into a conflict. Those kinds of things, right? So there's a lot you need to pay attention to. Again, though, I'm just going to go ahead and assign everyone to continue doing what they're doing, stabilize the US, control the next nodes, build up support where you can. Now, I could be wrong, but yeah, okay. Our chances of gaining nodes in the US has plummeted, which is a problem. Okay, I was hoping that by just simply controlling Mexico, even though we are in a crackdown state, we would still have a lot of support, but that is not the case. So basically, by abandoning Mexico, we made it a lot harder to continue getting nodes. I think it's still fine. I'm just going to have to spend a fair bit of influence now in order to boost this up even higher. But I think that's gonna be fine. We can still roll the dice. It just means I don't want to abandon Canada too early on. Otherwise, it just gets a lot harder to finish out my goal. Something you can do if you need to is investigate your own counselors using the investigation skill, and that's something I'm doing right now with Preesh. This basically helps confirm what their loyalty value is. If it goes too low and they're doing something you wouldn't like, you want to know it, right? So once in a while, it's not a terrible idea to just go ahead and do that. Another UFO has crashed in China. We need to investigate that quick. Ooh, okay. We have discovered something. An alien base has been detected on Makemake. Let's take a look at that. Oh, we also found that there is an alien station orbiting said place. And more alien bases. There's a bunch of them, actually. Okay. So, basically, way out over here, let's zoom out for a bit into the solar system so you can see where this is. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Way out over here, way past Pluto, we have now seen through our telescopes that apparently the aliens have set up bases and an orbital station around this planetoid thing, I guess. So you can see some of them over here. If we click on some of this, yeah, we can see a little bit of what's going on. There's their colony core, plus they got a mining complex, some reactor arrays, that kind of stuff. We'll be able to build out some bases like this ourselves at some point. But yeah, it looks like the aliens have been building up something on the edge of our solar system, well beyond Pluto. And who knows how many other bases they've got that we don't know about right now. They are building out their economy. They are doing the exact same thing that we are, and we should be very afraid of that. Now that we've taken over a 5th army from the US, we're going to go ahead and airlift an army back home from Korea. There's really no reason to keep them there that I know of, unless, North Korea decides to do something stupid, which they could. But I'm pretty sure that you do save a little bit on, like, some economic investment and stuff like that if you keep your armies at home as opposed to deploying them overseas, which makes sense. I'll be honest, a lot of this game is extremely intuitive if you put any thought into it. It's like, oh, wait, it does that? Well, that makes a lot of sense. There's so many of those kinds of moments in the game, which is great. By the way, our economic inequality is definitely dropping down pretty fast. We're starting to get into a more peaceful state. Our unity, I should say, is starting to go up. We want to, again, get this up toward about a 5 value. Yes, our economy is suffering right now. Yes, we still don't have enough investment into knowledge to boost up our democracy, but it's fine. We're dealing with the emergency situations, and then we can start turning on the economic engine. I am also over my governing cap, but I'm only 1 point away from full control of the U.S. So before I abandon Canada, I am going to just accept the loss of influence for a while. I'm going to go into the negative, and then we will deal with it. Ooh, okay, so here comes a nice little event. They have not come in peace. So spoilers alert here, guys. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes worldwide for peaceful contact. Many who wished cooperation are changing their views. So what's going to happen here is basically the Academy gets completely messed with. They start off really strong in the game, but less than a year in and everything gets dashed. Half of their control points are now vulnerable to being taken over. They take a huge loss in public opinion, and especially in the developed Western countries like Europe. And then all nations' cohesion now moves toward extreme values. Now that's a bit of a problem for me, because we just went back down towards sectarian. I had just been getting this under control, but there's really not much I can do about it right now. We have to continue investing in our unity. I also think that the Academy's public opinion has suffered in a lot of locations. So basically the Resistance, the Protectorate, the Servants, Humanity First, all of those guys just got a pretty large boost in a lot of places. I'm now terrified that the Servants are going to take over Germany, which would be very, very bad for me. But, we'll see. Okay, we have finished a project for alien flora. So xenoflora is now a thing. So we've learned a little bit about their genetic makeup, which we now know is what's happening at the crash sites. It spreads faster than any terrestrial flora or even fungus with a machine-like regularity. So it's kind of scary, basically. Lots of scary xenogrowths are taking over the flora and the fauna of Earth, and it's basically not fighting back against it. What could this mean? We don't know, but the new information now leads us towards some xenoforms, so we could start doing some extra research. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up, not a xenology lab, I would like this, but I don't think that's a good idea. Clandestine cells is the next thing I'm gonna do, because this would allow us to research, or rather hire up another counselor, and you've already learned that having more counselors is good. You get to do more missions, and it's gonna boost up our governing capacity if they have the right skills. So we'll be able to use that in order to hold on to the entirety of the United States. Canada just finished building up their spaceflight program. Excellent. I did that. So now that they have that, they actually will be able to start producing some boost of their own, which actually means these guys will be more valuable when the US eventually has to take them over. In the meantime, though, I'm not going to hold on to these guys for much longer, so let's just exploit some serious corruption and try to enjoy a little bit of extra money. Okay, we got control of the president. Good, 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 good. So now I am bleeding influence. I have to abandon Canada. Not an option. Goodbye. That puts me back into the positive, barely, at least. Still over the cap, but at least I can manage this. I'm just not going to be making too much influence anytime soon. But this is huge. This is really, really, really good. So, Elias, I would like you to now defend the interests of the United States. It cost me 20 influence, but it's going to make it really hard for enemies to try and throw me out. So that's good. We discovered a bit about this counselor. I was doing some investigation just in case there was something I could do. Answer is probably not. In Kazakhstan, it's been taken over by humanity firsts, and the servants are building up opinion over here as well. So the AI is now starting to turn their attention to the same spot that I was going. I don't love that. Let's figure out what's going on in Iran. I do need to figure out what's happening there. We could... Where do I want to go next? Though, that's the real question. We're losing Mexico, but that was always going to happen. Not really a big deal. I really still want Kazakhstan because then I will be able to get my boost up. What I'll probably have to do now, though, is enact a coup d'etat. So we could increase unrest here, which isn't a bad idea, though we're not the best at doing that. Yeah, we need to build up a lot more public support first. So I think that's what we're going to do, is we're going to start building up some public support in Kazakhstan, since we've lost a lot of that. And then we are going to try to launch a coup. Now, if we can successfully launch a coup, not only can we take away control from humanity first, which I don't really want to mess with them too much, but I really don't want them having the Cosmodrome. I think this also abandons all relations. So right now, Kazakhstan is in a union, right? The Eurasian Union, a federation in this game, with Russia as the leader. If we do a coup, I'm pretty sure it breaks off all allies. So no longer would they be giving any of their boost over there. Whoever controls Kazakhstan gets the lion's share of everything. I don't really have the capacity for this, but we have to try anyway. Okay, we've discovered more about the alien abductions. So our counselor investigated some reported abductions. The governments continue to deny anything, and in fact, they have done their best to hinder us. Though we have no proof as of yet, we suspect other organizations are pulling strings to block our investigations. Yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing the Protectorate and the servants in particular might do. Despite all of that, we have confirmed a small but statistically significant number of people and animals have gone missing since the alien crash landings. So that's a bit disturbing for us, but what is their purpose? We don't know. Now we would need to research alien methods. If you haven't figured this out, a lot of the early game objectives in order to continue with the story does come down to doing a whole lot of research. This is one of the reasons getting a lot of science under control is actually really, really, really nice. We have got the management research completed. Excellent. So that gets a small boost to our control points. And by a small boost, I mean a very small boost, but I will take what I can get. Alien methods, I think, would be worth trying to research, so let's go ahead and knock that out. Though it is a lower priority to clandestine cells, I really, really want to get this going faster than anything else. Mission to the moon could be kind of tempting, actually. That is a thing we might want to do. Something else I might want to do is consider going for some satellites. So if I want to zoom out a bit on Earth... maybe we want to go to orbit and see if we can reserve some sort of a satellite. There's low Earth orbit right there. I'm kind of surprised none of the other AIs have done this, but I guess we do have an advantage in terms of money, boosts, and so on. So if I wanted to go over here, what would it take for me to build out a platform? It would take some money, and it would take some boost. It also takes up one of my mission control. That's fine. I want to go ahead and found a new satellite in low Earth orbit. Let's do that. And it'll cost me this, and found the platform. Okay, so clicking on this platform, here's our little satellite station. It doesn't look like much now, does it? But we could start building this sucker out if you want to add on, let's say, some various different modules. So we have Life Sciences Lab, which takes some power, and it also costs a bit of materials that I currently don't have in order to give me a boost in some science and life sciences modifiers in particular. Materials Lab does the same thing. A solar collector would actually get me the power I need to fulfill any of this. And then there's the Space Science Lab here as well. So there's not a lot that I can do with these modules except just continue getting like science, unless we do some more research. I don't mind going for this. Now, here's the problem. You'll notice it costs resources I don't have. Water, volatiles, etc. So, I don't know what happens there. I think we have to start paying money in order to basically send them resources, I think. Is that something I want to do? I mean, we've already kind of built up the station. It's happening anyway, so we might as well give it a shot. Let's try launching a solar collector over here. We have to build it on Earth, and it does take more boost to launch it. And then, I don't know, how about a space science lab? Sure, build that there. That's kind of all the boost that I've got. So it's going to take a little while to build. It'll be done in May, so in about a month. And then we launch it, we attach it, and boom. We've got some satellites getting built up, giving me a few extra bonuses. I like that. That'll be fun. You can do a lot more with the satellites later. Just right now, this is very early and can't do a whole lot. So I'm really uncomfortable by the fact that this alien xeno forms still exist in Lyon. No one's done anything about that, including the Academy. I'm going to spend some of my ops points to try to destroy this thing. I want this gone. Because I've got a bad feeling about what happens if this thing starts spreading throughout Europe. Because it's going to try to do that. So let's see if we can blow the sucker up. Okay, we were successful in destroying the alien life. So that's good. No longer a threat there. They are going to be popping up on occasion, though. We have to keep an eye out for that. We could actually go over here to our kind of an intelligence system. We actually don't know anything about all the other factions. That could change over time. This gives you an idea, by the way, of like the global support. Right now, we're one of the larger factions. The initiative is actually doing pretty well as well. That's scary. But under aliens, if there are any sites that we have missed, then this will appear so we know where they are on the Earth. We also have a pretty good idea of all the different fleets they've got, which are all heading to Earth right now. Yeah, I don't like that. Also, all their habitats. Yeah, the aliens are definitely getting around, and it's only going to get scarier and scarier from here, let's be honest. Let's go ahead and start increasing the unrest in Kazakhstan. The higher this is, the easier it should be for me to enact some sort of a coup, especially if I have a very high public opinion. So we're going to go for that and try to take this away from humanity first. They're going to be peeved, and technically there is a diplomacy system in this game where all the different factions can declare war on you, or they're more likely to mess with you. You can have non-aggression pacts. Like, these are all options, but yeah, we're just going to live with it and hope that it's not a problem. Oh, and clandestine cells is done. Thank God. Okay. New projects available, and Humanity First finished a mission to the moon, which means now we could use boost to actually launch out there. All the more reason I want Kazakhstan, and I don't want Humanity First to have that, because I don't want the AI going to the moon. I want the moon. It's for me. I think this means we need to research things like the outpost cores, because this is what's going to allow me to do research, construct new bases on, let's say, the moon. So getting that research seems pretty important. Anything else here strike me as super important for me? Not really, to be honest. And I'm honestly kind of shocked the servants want to learn about military tech, but okay. Now, we do need to hire another counselor in just a bit. I've got enough influence to do that, so that should be fine. Might as well wait a little bit, though. Still getting more support here in Kazakhstan. Looking good so far. Failed there. We'll try again. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. And we failed to build up any more unrest. Well, that sucks, but okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. Let's see what our odds are of getting to do a coup in just a moment. The question is, what kind of a new counselor do I want? Oh, we lost another point in Mexico, but honestly, that's not surprising. I don't know. Another person who's really good at running some of these hostile missions could be okay. Alternatively, someone who'd be really good at doing administrative stuff so we can get lots and lots of organizations isn't bad. A scientist would let me get a lot of science. Yeah, that's certainly a thing. But I don't think you have a lot of other skills that I really want. I definitely love the idea of getting more science, though. Let's see. No, you're not going to do it for me. Another commando, maybe a tech mogul? What about a tech mogul? Lots of money, lots of influence gain, like that. Decent admin, lots of science, good persuasion. You would get me a lot of admin cap, and you could make for a really good advisor, right? We just park you in the United States and start doing the advising mission, and basically my science, command, and administrative skills, all of which you have decent ones, are going to boost up the investment in that nation, which makes the U.S. just stronger. So you solve a lot of my initial issues. I'm kind of leaning toward the tech mogul. There's another one over here from China with worse stats. Well, actually almost equivalent. What else you got? A Pollyanna super loyal person. Megastar billionaire. I mean, there is something to be said about having a tech mogul who is just always loyal forever. There's something to be said about that. But I like these stats better. What about a journalist, an investigator? Better the crackdown side of things. Yeah, I think a tech mogul is the way to go. We're going to pick Devanshi from India up and add you into the roster. Now, I'm still open to the possibility that at some points I need to get rid of some of these people, but not for a little bit, at the very least. Are any of these organizations good for me? It looks like the AI has been snatching up a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of these are very expensive and take tons of influence, which I simply do not have right now. So what are my odds for a coup now? Still not very good. We could spend all my ops points to try and boost that even higher. I ain't gonna cut it, though. Okay. Well, let's see. A crackdown. I could start just taking this over more normally. Just purge people out of this. It's an option. I'm not gonna say it's a very good option, though, because a coup would make it a little bit easier for me to just get out of the Eurasian Union. I wouldn't have to get rid of all these alliances. So I kind of like the idea of doing a coup. Let's just continue trying to boost up unrests. And if we can stack that up before the AI starts sending any people over here to stabilize, we'll be okay. Oh, and some habitat modules are complete for our satellites. Excellent. Okay, so that is what our satellite currently looks like. We could add on more to it, of course, if we wanted to. But right now, I'm happy with what I've got. I don't actually know how you open this up to select it and decide what to do with the dang thing, but okay. Well, presumably, though, it's helping me a little bit with some science and stuff. Yay! Oh, there we go. If we just select on the habs over here and then sort by resistance and stuff, we can see ours. So if I wanted to, I could add some more stuff onto this. An extra science module, like, maybe? Material science, life science. I mean, I guess I could do this. We got the power for it. Okay, let's drag on one more module and just make extra goodies over here. I don't know. It's probably fine. We have completed the Alien Methods project. Okay, so after uncovering evidence of multiple livestock abductions, not the cows! Sometime with the first collaborated human disappearances, it seems the aliens have been observing us long enough to understand Earth's biological and social hierarchies. They are working their way up the food chain. So now we should be able to detect alien contacts with humans. Oh boy. Alrighty. So, let's see. The earliest disappearances were limited to lower order mammals, unremarkable if not for their frequency. The first confirmed human abductions occurred 14 days after the crash. Since then, they've been growing in number, so lots of people are starting to get abducted, including high socioeconomic status people, police chiefs, business owners, legislators, etc., which means the aliens have arrived on Earth with a plan for establishing their influence. The question is, where are these people and what are they doing? From now on, we should act on the assumption that we are at war and others are likely to draw the same conclusion. Spoopy! Now we need to investigate returned abductees. Apparently, several missing humans have suddenly resurfaced. Why do they appear to be unharmed? What is going on? There must be some sort of an alien plan. Okay, the unrest has gone up. We're up to 4.2 now in Kazakhstan, and we have almost half of the population on our side. So that's looking pretty good. I'm also using Elias to surveil the area and just keep an eye out if any other investigators do appear. May or may not work. Project complete. We now have outpost cores, so I might soon be able to start working on some tech to land on the moon. Anything else that jumps out as something I really, really want? Supply depots, a place for ships to take on propellant, munitions, supplies. Yeah, that's all interesting, but not what I need. Social sciences, blah, 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 information sciences. There's not an absolute ton that I can benefit from with all of this right now, not with all this particular tech. I guess we should go ahead and learn about the interplanetary warships. If I don't have anything more important to do right now, let's just go ahead and knock that out. That seems like the sort of thing that could be useful someday. Ooh, okay. Russia is currently being taken over by the Servants and Humanity First. I do not like the idea of the Servants of all people having the nuclear arsenal of Russia. That scares me, like, a lot all of a sudden. Okay. What's our coup options now? 4%, still not great. 17% chance is still not gonna be good enough. I feel like there ought to be better ways of doing this. What skill do we need for a coup d'etat again? Command stat. Yeah, that's the problem. Your command sucks. It's only level 3. All right, hang on. Is there anything I can do to boost that? Do you have enough XP? The answer is yes. So we could boost commands. It only costs 16 XP. Well, that's good because you're a quick learner. I love that. We'll pick this up. That also gets me some more cap here, so that's actually helpful in multiple ways. So, all right, you've got the Special Forces Corps, so your odds of succeeding are a little bit higher now, 6%. We could boost that to 22. Still not good enough. We need to continue increasing unrest, I guess, or something. So keep doing what we've been doing. Anyone else available for a level up? You can. Do we want to do anything in particular with you? Great question. More administration could be kind of helpful. You never really go wrong with administration, so now we're officially back at our cap. You could do something. I'm kind of leaning towards some more persuasion, since that's kind of the only thing you are good at, and then you don't have enough XP, and you definitely don't have enough XP. Okay, all right. We're getting somewhere. Let's go ahead and toss this on over here, I guess. Actually, wait, what does this get me again? Just espionage? I don't really benefit from more espionage on you, do I? Actually, I guess I kind of do. More surveillance, whatever. We'll just toss this on so we're actually getting some benefit out of the organization. It's not great, but it's what I've got, so it's what we will use. For the record, this is the part of the game where I always start to feel a little bit out of my depth, because the AI knows what they're doing. I've managed to secure the early outposts that I was looking for, but now what the heck do? I know that I only am just now getting enough cap to even start taking over more countries. If I take over Kazakhstan, for example, it's going to put me right back over the cap, so I got to be careful about this. But, like, at the same time, I can't sit back forever. What do I do to get Russia taken care of? Well, now they've defended their interests, so now it's really hard to get them out of there. I could try to take the servants out of the United Kingdom, but what does that do me? Nothing, really. Just upsetting these guys with no ability to take advantage of it without tanking my own economy is kind of shooting my foot. All right, at least there's more UFOs crashing, so at least I have some idea what to do over there. I can examine those. I'm good at that. Justice. Oh, man, okay. We got a really, really lucky coup in Kazakhstan, because at the very last second, the Humanity First tried to do a protect their interests, and it should have worked, but we rolled like a 1 in 5 chance. So, coup in Kazakhstan is done. We get full control of the nation. So there we go. Yeah, critical success. I rolled a 1! Beautiful. And yeah, for some reason, rolling low is what you want to do. Well, no wonder it freaking worked. Okay, pause. So we control Kazakhstan. I'm back over my cap, of course, but I can handle this to a degree. We should no longer have any allies. So no longer is Kazakhstan a part of the Eurasian Union, which basically means I now need to control this badly. I don't care what it takes. Forget the military spending. Forget the funding. Boost is still important. Mission control is nice. Forget the build army. I can't seem to spend enough money to make these people happy. They want 43% of the economy. The oligarchs want 43%. My God. Yeah, okay, forget that. You get nothing then. If I can't give you that, you get absolutely nothing. What do we need for welfare? It doesn't really say, but it is going down. That's why it's red here and warning me that it's a problem. Okay, so hold on. I would like to get things like the economy, but now I need to stabilize a new nation. Knowledge is important. Welfare could be good. We need to get these guys back under control. I do also desperately need to stabilize a nation to protect my interests. So we're going to do a defensive mission so the exact same coup does not happen to me. Global research completed for electrostatic principles. Okay. So what are you doing now? Deep space propulsion concepts. I don't really have a problem with doing that. I actually wouldn't mind for once getting to contribute some science and see if I can direct the next round of science. Just for once, it would be nice to get to decide what the next thing is going to be. Maybe I can actually do something useful for once here. Okay, with Kazakhstan under control, my boost income has gone way up. It is excellent. So the next thing I want to do then is take a look at Luna and see if there's anything I can do on the moon. Let's take a look at the sites. So we've I think, not done any sort of exploration here. Let's launch a prospector probe. Costs a little bit of money, costs a little bit of boost. Doesn't take very long. We're going to launch this sucker and find out what resources exist on the moon. There's 1 or 2 sites here that could be valuable. We really want to get water for our first mine. So I may want to grab one of these 2. I want to see what my options are, because it's time to prospect and do some mining. As far as founding a platform, you can see it would take some money and 4 boost. We actually do have enough to do this. Thanks to the owning of Kazakhstan, we are producing plenty. So I've basically denied the AI a lot of potential mining sites on the moon, and I can start dominating the next phase of the game, which is the industrialization of space. That's the whole reason I wanted Kazakhstan. Yes, I'm scared of Russia and stuff, blah, 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 but I've got Kazakhstan, I've got the US. Between the Cosmodrome and NASA, we're looking pretty good. So let's make sure we use somebody to defend my interests in Kazakhstan. That'll cost me some influence, but otherwise no big deal. We could continue building up support here. Shouldn't be necessary. Now we need to start stabilizing the nation that I spent so much time destabilizing, so let's get that figured out. And do I want to continue advising the United States? We could. The flawed democracy rating is going up bit by bit so far. We're looking good on knowledge. Unity is gradually growing. Income inequality is dropping. We're almost below 4 and going into medium territory. That would be great. With that taken care of, I could start swapping more of my budget over toward economic development. But we really need to get up to that 5 value as fast as I can. That makes things easier. So, yeah, all of this looking super duper solid. Any organizations I could buy? Yeah, there's a couple. What is this? Crossing Rivers for Humanity. Gives me income of a lot of things. Holy crud. I'm good with that. Yeah, no, I'll buy that one for a bunch of money. What's money? Money means nothing to me. I'll take it. Income, 5% more knowledge. Would let me boost up the development of the United States in a big way. Yeah, I'm actually okay with buying this out too, just so I can start building this sucker up, and with a larger knowledge investment base, more effective at getting democracy rating up and start building up that science income so I can continue to dominate. This is looking pretty good all of a sudden. This is looking pretty good. Where do I go next after this? No idea. Until I'm able to get myself a lot more control point management, this is kind of the limit as far as what I can do for a while. So I think my only goal now is to find ways to screw over the enemy by building up support and taking it away from them, and then building up satellites and mines on the moon before anyone else can. Pull that off, and we will be in a very, very solid position to outperform everyone else with a space economy. That's what I want to see happen. A big, honkin' space economy. But I think this is a good place for me to end this particular episode. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time in Terra Invicta.